Okay, hello and welcome to another episode of Arcade Assault. Today we are playing The Maze of the Kings, released for the, the Naomi arcade board in 2002. So, before we start the game, we actually have to calibrate the rod that we're going to be using to shoot with. And this is the only time I've ever actually seen an arcade game do this. Although, considering the game had weird, jackal heads, and kind of had, weird jackal head guns, yeah, it makes kind of sense. So we're going to be a little bit off for the entire game. And hopefully it wouldn't be too bad, but if I move quickly, it definitely kind of desyncs. Okay, so I'm going to use fire and the jacket, and I'll explain more once we're into the game.
What ridiculous clothes!
I bought them in the specialist shop.
All we need is this rod.
Wow!
The route changes every time in this labyrinth, for protecting from intruders. Let's go!
Okay, so off we go into the labyrinth.
The route has changed.
Okay, so I was given the choice. Okay, area 1 is going to be the Shrine of Genie. Okay, so pretty much, I was given 3 choices for ammo types. I could choose light, spark, or fire, and they have different ammo types, and, they have different ammo counts, and, supposedly power. I could not really tell you the difference in their actual damage. Maybe it's evident on bosses and some of the tougher enemies, but I've played tested this a little bit, and I could not see much of a difference. But hey, we've already cleared out the Shrine of Genie, and we're moving on to Area 121, Fort Mummy. So, basically, those are your ammo types, and there is my equipment actually coming into play, because I completely messed that up. So, you have access to, you can choose one at the start of your game. You can choose between the helmet, which will protect you from kind of aerial attacks. So if you get attacked by a flying enemy, you can be safe from one hit from them. You can take the bracelet, which will protect from bites and I think claws. And you can take the jacket, which is by far the best option because it protects from blades. And as you've seen from basically every enemy so far, enemies in this game love having blades. As we now enter Area 199, the Big Treasure House. So here's the thing with this game. Each level does have a couple of set locations. So pretty much this level, you will always, all the bosses are kind of set in place. So you'll always get to, I think it's Area 200. I think it's like 200, 444. I forget where the third one is, and then the final one is 999. However, other than that, I think the first couple of areas of each level, well, for levels 2 and 3, are kind of locked. But for the most part, you can see a fair bit of variation in this. The first time you load up the game, so pretty much okay, I got hit, that's not great. So, for example, let's say, I have no idea what the stones do. Let's say I was opening an arcade. The first time I turned the game on for the day, I would see the Shrine of Genie route. Then for the second one, I would see, I think it's the Path of the False God. And then the third one, I believe, is Approach of Moon. Then I think it loops back to Shrine of Genie, I think. Okay, so we should now come out to Area 200 and our first boss fight.
Hey, look! That's great!
You feed breeds. The doctor's over. Ready?
Okay, so this is our first boss, a giant Tutankhamun death mask. Yeah, not really sure what I think the general idea here was, hey, we need something Egyptian. Also, I do not know what has happened to the calibration. It has gone even worse. But you know what? We seem to be doing okay. So basically, we know which pyramids to shoot in what order because they will turn red before they attack me. And judging from recalibration, this game is going to get a little bit rough. But hey, you know what? I do have infinite continues, and if nothing else, I have... Now that is definitely not what he said. Also, the idea of a giant Tutankhamun death mask saying yippee is kinda funny, though. Okay, so this game, well, bosses in this game are basically just full of target circles. So you hit all the target circles, and you kill the boss without any real hassle. That went a lot better than I expected, but the target circles are kinda huge.
Gotcha.
Hey, look at that path. Shall we go?
Okay, so now we are at the end of the first level, so we can try to get the first treasure, the Golden Anubis. Basically, you get one shot at this. If you miss it, you just don't get a huge point boost. But we do take the Golden Anubis. Fantastic. So that should be, what, 10,000 points, I think? Yeah, 10,000 points.
It's still a long way to go.
If you miss it, they kind of just look really sad and just kind of trudge off towards the stairs. Okay, so stage 2, after the Golden Hawk. Now, this...
I have a bad feeling about this.
Now, this section, I believe, is also always here, because we need to get to the Sphinx. Also, these scarab beetles...
There's a camel. Let's ride
These
it.
scarab beetles are going to be slightly more annoying than I think they will be,
I'm ready.
mostly just because...
Oh,
Mostly just because of the calibration. Also, I love how I'll speed it up. It's like, that camel was stationary. Also, I do appreciate how all of the enemies are totally okay with the camel. They know the camel isn't doing anything, so they aren't going to attack the camel. Okay, now we have to shoot these sphinx, cat, dog things. I don't know how to describe them. And yeah, we have bird enemies. And our first continue. Also, yes, I am fully aware of the irony of me saying that the helmet is useless, and then it actually would have come in quite handy then, protected me from getting a hit there. But you know what? I stand by my statement. It is still by far the worst one. Okay, the calibration is just getting worse, but hey, hopefully I'll get there.
wow, huge.
Let's go.
Okay, so now we are inside the Sphinx for area. Also, accuracy in this game is not considered. For area 291, the collapsed temple. Okay. The accuracy in this game is a recommendation. It is very much a shoot absolutely everything type of game. Because pretty much all that really matters towards your points is just kind of collecting treasure. So every now and then when you kill an enemy, treasure will kind of just pop out of them. You can juggle that treasure as much as you can until it hits the ground. Unfortunately, I am very, very bad at it, as you can clearly tell. Although, to be fair, here's the thing, I want to blame that on the calibration, which honestly is entirely my fault. I feel like I messed it up trying to fix it. But hey, it happens sometimes. I feel like outside of the ones I've played on a controller, I haven't had good calibration for any of these games. If anything, I guess I'm getting better at the game because I have terrible aim. Or maybe I'm just using way more continues than I need to because I'm, kind of inconveniencing myself. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'm not, playing this to compete with anyone, so it's not, a big deal. Okay, so that is 2 continues. And I'm pretty sure... Actually, I feel like this collapsed temple section has gone on longer than most of the previous stage did. But we should probably be pretty close to the end of it by now, I think. I do like how the skeletal enemies do just kind of explode into pieces. I do greatly appreciate that. I think that's a really nice little detail. And got it, fantastic. And I still can't juggle. 10 out of 10, I'm not getting a job in the circus, not today. Okay, as we make our way to area 303, the Sinking Valley. Okay, well that is a ship. That is a bizarre thing to see out here, but okay. And I'm very glad that I had the jacket there, because that just protected me from another blade attack. Here we have some snake people, Cobra Man, I don't know what they would be officially referred to as. And I don't have an instruction manual for this game either, because I'm going to be honest, this game never had a home port. Like, this game was arcade only. I feel like that happened to a lot of Naomi games. I know Mazan Flash of the Blade never had one, and that would have been a perfect port for the Wii.
Hey, it's tilting rapidly.
Not just it's tilting. The game had to I've died twice to scarabs. So I am now on 3 continues. I've had 2 to scarabs and 1 to birds. This is going pretty terribly. Like, bosses? What are they? Like, bosses? Regular enemies? Nah. Scarabs, though, those guys are proving to be a bit of an issue for me so far. I mean, to be fair, I feel like that's kind of funny, if nothing else. But yeah, my juggling skills they leave much to be desired. But basically, once they hit the ground, they'll bounce back up, and then you kind of get the points. But so far, my score is looking okay, maybe? I don't know what a good score in this game would be considered as. And either way, I'm going to get a whole bunch more continues by the time I roll credits, so it's not that big of a deal. I will say, because I'm playing this kind of upscaled, held on an emulator, this is actually a really nice looking game.
Let's go.
Well, they recovered from being in a ship crash very quickly. Okay, Area 444, the Great River of Mamoon.
What a huge river. Wow.
Let's take a boat.
Damn, what do we have here?
Good question. That is a weird flying snake fly lady thing. Either way, target circles. Once again, target circles proving to be very beneficial because they are very large. And, yeah, if I can keep hitting those, that means I'm going to be safe. I mean, obviously, because it kind of cancels their attacks. And fortunately, they are quite large, which gives me plenty of kind of space to work with. I say that, I still got hit, and I'm going to get hit plenty more times. But hey, we're making good progress through this boss fight. It should be done probably like 1 or 2 more cycles if I hit all the target circles. And that should be it. Nailed it.
What is it?
Okay, so now we try to get the Golden Hawk. And here's the thing. I'm pretty sure this is actually determined before you even start. I'm going to guess left. Middle. Oh well, that's fine. Off we go.
Oh no.
Next, we're going to the pyramid.
I do like the purple skybox here. That does look really nice. Okay, so, yeah, that's not maybe the best on my part, but hey, we're getting there. As we move into stage 3, where we're going after the Golden Monolith. And also, the pyramid is the final stage. So, there's only 3 levels in this game. This game is very short. And now, well, I think that's, what, 5 continues? Also, because, well, they had the high ground, so shooting those guys was a little bit tricky. Also, I guess now is the time where I can bring out just a little bit of history that I have with this game. So, when I was in middle school, every year... Well, also, these guys... those things, I think you're meant to, like, parry those. Like, wait for them to attack and then kind of respond. But I don't actually know. Anyway, when I was in middle school, every year, my entire school would have one day of the year where we went to a theme park. Okay, I say a theme park, it was just... I guess it's more of an amusement park, because it didn't really have a theme. Okay, that is a perfect example of the calibration just not wanting to work with me anymore. But hey, I guess it just fixed itself, not really sure how, but okay. And I remember, because this was the first year we went, and And I was sat with a couple of my friends, because a few of my other friends had gone to go on the big roller coaster, and the line was really long, so we ended up just kind of sitting around for like an hour. And after about, 35 minutes, we decided, okay, yeah, they have an arcade here, let's just go check out the arcade. Don't know why we took that long to decide on that, but hey, here we are. And the takeaway was, hey, this Maze of the Kings thing, let's play that. So a couple of my friends played it, and one of the guns either didn't work very well or just wasn't calibrated particularly well. I don't remember which one it was. But the main thing was that it was on free play mode. And they got to this bit, and then my other friends were off the roller coaster, and they didn't know how close we were at the end of the game. So, yeah, they never finished the game.
Damn, what are you, my mother?
And then we came back later in the day, and they had realised the mistake and it was no longer on free play mode, and that was somehow my fault. Okay, I say that, it kind of was my fault. Mostly because I mentioned, hey, one of the guns isn't calibrated very well, it just doesn't work. But also, I think I also probably let slip that, like, yeah, they have infinite continues. Which, look, I will throw my hands up and say, yeah, that's my bad, maybe I shouldn't have just let that one slip. But hey, there we go, I actually got through all those birds without taking any damage at that time.
Hello, I'm Pharaoh. So you're here at last. Well done. But it won't be so easy.
So, there's so much to unpack with what Pharaoh is. Because, like, he's supposed to be an ancient Egyptian pharaoh. But he flies around on what is he basically flies around on ancient Egyptian witch broom. And he seems to be designed more like a stereotypical, like, Chinese emperor. Like, I don't know what they were going for in terms of design, but okay. I think that's continue number 6, which is not amazing for me, but hey, you know what? It could be worse. And also, I am on free play mode, so it doesn't make any difference to me whatsoever. Because, okay, there we go. That was a perfect example of kind of needing a wait or just kind of blast through them. I think the fire damage might work. I think the fire damage might be beneficial against those guys. Anyway, off we go into area 515, the Endless Corridor. Now, some areas in this game will change every time. There's a couple of ones for this one. You can get the Darkness Corridor or the Endless Corridor. And obviously in this one we got the Endless Corridor. Also, yes, those are the same pyramid things that the giant Tutankhamun Death Mask was spitting out at us earlier. Only they're purple now. And they're also a basic enemy type. And, yeah. But yeah, pretty much the pyramid is always the same. The pyramid is always the same, the boss rooms are always the same, and the gateway to the Sphinx is always the same, I believe. But other than that, there's a small pool for each one on that you can get through. Meaning that, in a way, this game is kind of a roguelike. Because you play this game multiple times, and you will see multiple different places. And I think that's a kind of cool thing. I know I mentioned it back at the start of the video, but the first time you come through an area, the first time you load up the game, you'll always get Shrine of Genie, then you'll always get Approach of Moon as the last one, then Path of the False God in the middle.
You're still there? Hey, genies, beat them!
Okay, so now we have a boss fight. I mean, these are very clearly much more in line with golems than genies, but okay. I don't know, maybe there's another kind of genie that I don't know, but whatever.
You haven't beaten me yet. You assemble.
Oh, also, I probably should have mentioned earlier, yeah, I have a crosshair for this, because with how bad my calibration seems to be, yeah, I feel like I probably need it, and also...
Get on with it.
And also, I just generally feel more comfortable if I have a crosshair for things. Because I don't trust my aim the best of times. And so, you know, having a crosshair is always going to be welcome to me. And we are just obliterating this boss. I know that's technically more of a mini-boss before we get to Pharaoh himself, but still. Yeah, you know what, that'll do it. That'll do it. We did effectively just get a giant pillar dropped on our head. Anyway, that is the golem defeated. And now, we can try to get the golden monolith. Which inexplicably splits itself into multiple parts, and you have to hit each one twice. Which, you know, would be a lot easier to do, but, you know, okay, wow, yeah, this one ain't happening. I got it at the very last second. Nice! 4 points. I think that's 30,000? Sorry, 20,000.
Okay, got that sucker.
Damn! I still hold a few cards. Follow me.
Okay, so now we move on towards the final section. Pharaoh has basically gone like, no, hold on, I've got a few guys left. Hang on, these Tomb Raiders, as I've got a few guys left before I'll have to fight you myself. Also, I like how that guy just spawns so far back. I don't know why he does, but hey, I'm apparently doing terribly. I think we have 1 or 2 more rooms before we get to the final area, which is the burial chamber of Pharaoh. But hey, so far we're doing pretty okay. The real question is, will I get past 100,000 points? I doubt that I will, because I know that you lose a whole bunch of points whenever you use a continue. And even with the thing for beating the final boss, I don't really see it happening. I'd love for it to happen, but I just don't see it. Yes. And, okay, I think I lost like 12,000 points there. But hey, I got a semi-okay juggle out of that one. Also, yes, I have just completely shot at the shields so often. I've shot at the shields I've shot at the shields a whole bunch just to kind of see if you can shoot through them. I don't think you can. I think my aim's just bad.
All my magic forces are beaten. Only one chance left. Hey, over here. Behind you.
So, why has he combined himself with a normal beetle? Well, I guess it's more like a rhinoceros beetle or a Hercules beetle or something. Either way, I know it, like, that is not a scarab, as far as I can tell. Like, I'm no expert, but we've seen scarabs throughout this game, and that does not look like a scarab. And, you know, considering scarabs and their place in Egyptian mythology and everything, I feel like it would make a whole lot more sense if it was a giant scarab beetle kind of carapace armor that he would have. But I guess not, and I'm not going to question it. Okay, that's a lie. I'm absolutely questioning it. Also, 10 out of 10. So far, this fight is going kind of just shockingly well. I'm a little bit concerned. Like, do you ever just have a boss fight go so well for a bit that you start to get concerned? That's me right now. Because this... Okay, is that a boulder or a... No, wait, if it's a scarab, it'd be like a giant ball of dung, right? Well, that's gross. That's super gross, considering everything else in here is, like, made of gold. But hey. Okay, blasted him off that again. And we are out of that phase and probably going towards what I assume would be the final one. Yeah, this looks like a final phase type of area. Okay, yeah, this must be the end. I love how he just kind of flies around with a giant treasure chest now. Oh, it's just like, buddy, you don't need to do that. If you... Like, you have hands. You don't need to use them. And the fact that I gotta continue against the final boss, and it wasn't to a normal attack, it was to the scarabs that he summons, it is kind of painfully on brand for this playthrough. Because this playthrough has been kind of a disaster when it comes to these scarabs. I feel like I've gotten hit more by them than most other things. But hey, on the plus side, I think I probably need to do like 2 or 3 more cycles, and then we just win. And, okay, I think it should be 1 more cycle of these. And, honestly, I quite like target circles. Target circles are kind of fun to work with. Nice, got him.
It hurts to see it, but I'm beaten.
So with that, we gain the wand of Pharaoh and can finish the game.
Pharaoh was a funny old man.
Let's go home.
They really did shoot through all of that stuff, and then in the end just went like, yeah, Pharaoh was a funny old guy, wasn't he? So I did miss out on the Golden Hawk, which is a little bit unfortunate because I got all the other treasures. I like how that final section up to Pharaoh and then the actual final boss fight, that's considered its own final stage. Not really sure why, but hey, here we are. And that should be the game done. Yeah, also, falling through the floor there doesn't exist. Like, that scene does not exist in this game. But yeah, that was Maze of the Kings, and I don't know, I quite like it. I think it's maybe a little bit too ambitious for its own good, and obviously I made things so much harder for myself by not having great calibration. But hey, that's entirely on me. That is 100% my fault. And also, let me just get the crosshair off screen for a second. But yeah, overall, I think it's a fun little arcade game. You can beat the whole thing in like 25 minutes, as evidenced by, you know, this playthrough. And I quite enjoyed it, because this was a game I always saw but never really played, and I'm glad to have finally given it a proper playthrough. And we got, okay, B+, I'll take it. A veteran hunter. I mean, hey, I'll take it. Not exactly a perfect run, but hey, it's acceptable. So let's go. Also, I still don't know how to translate branch into 3 letters. If anyone has a better idea, genuinely please tell me, because it's been years and I still can't figure out how to do it properly. But hey, so yeah, overall, I'm glad that I finally played it, and I think the game looks really nice. However, it also suffers from a severe case of, yeah, this is a Naomi game from 2002, because later this year, later in 2002, I'm pretty sure that's when House of the Dead 3 came out for the new Chihiro board, and yeah, House of the Dead 3 is amazing visually for 2002. Actually, House of the Dead 3 might have been 2003. Either way, good little game. I would recommend it if you ever see it just kind of hanging around in an arcade. It never had a home port, and setting up an emulator was... Honestly, setting up an emulator for this game was more annoying than it should have been. Mostly because I had the file for it. I had the file for this for like 6 months. And I was like, hey, it doesn't have this file, it can't run. So I put the thing in. Well, it still can't run. Turns out what I need to do is make a separate folder with the exact same name and drop all the files in, and then it just works. But anyway, just gonna leave it at that. So yeah, we can now add Maze of the Kings to the list of games that I've played on here. I think this is probably on the higher side. I think this has definitely been on the higher side of games I've used continues on for arcade shooters. I feel like this is probably next to... probably somewhere between like House of the Dead 2 and Vampire Knight. I might be totally wrong on that, because I would need to double check, but hey, that is something for future me to deal with. Also, I forgot to even talk about how co-op works in this game. In co-op and... hang on just a second. Co-op in this game is really interesting. Co-op in this game, pretty much, when you start, you both get to pick your ammo type and your, whatchamacallit, and your equipment. You can also pick the number of lives distribution. So if you're playing with someone who, you know, so if one person's really good and the other kind of just isn't, you could split the lives 4-2 or 5-1. And then in between levels, you can switch equipment, lives, and ammo types. I think that's a really interesting thing. But yeah, with that, I'm going to end off today's episode here. I'll have a new series starting on Tuesday. Persona will be back on Monday. And I'm going to end off this video here. As always, feel free to leave a comment or click any of the buttons down below if you feel so inclined. And I'll hopefully see you all next time for whatever it is I'm doing next. I'll also just let this opening cutscene play out one more time, I guess. Because we hadn't seen this one yet. Also, a lot of these scenes just don't actually exist in the game. But yeah, I'm going to end off today's video here. As always, feel free to leave a comment or click any buttons down below if you feel so inclined, and I'll hopefully see you all next time. Okay, thanks for watching. Later.